evening, boys and ghouls. It's Halloween again in the basement. With me, the Crypt Keeper. Let me be FRANK-enstein with you. We wouldn't want to leave you in the lurch without a haunted episode for the spookiest time of the fear. This mutilated morsel comes from deep within the crypt, 40 fathoms deep. I hope you're pre-scared for the voyage of a death time. You better grab your DEATH-raft and find the nearest death boat. This week on the Rotcast, episode 87, The Ghost Ship.
Okay, we're recording. Confirmed. You don't take no orders from no woman? Alright, good. Welcome to the Dylan Joe Basin Podcast. We today are rounding out with 3 hosts. My name is Dylan. That is Dominic. And that is Joe. Everyone say hi to everyone.
Hi everybody.
Alright, very cool. Very Simpsons-esque. Before we get into today's topic, I do want you to know that if you are somebody who is looking forward to this Saturday, you're listening to the right podcast. This Saturday is Household Hazardous Waste Day in most cities.
Already, it always sneaks up on you every year.
It sneaks up on you, dude. So I just want to, as we go here, you can call in. You can email djbasinpodcast@gmail.com. You can always call us. My number is 617-548-4437. Joe, I don't know what your numbers is.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I just want you guys to... No, it's fine. It's fine. I want to know how everyone here is celebrating Household Hazardous Waste Day. I'm celebrating by bringing all of my motor oil to the dump. And then hopefully they'll give me a banner like you do to a donkey with the biggest butt.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I'm hoping to come in.
Voted sticker.
I'm hoping to come in first. I'm hoping to come in first. Joe, how are you celebrating Household Hazardous Waste Day?
Well, I hadn't considered it because, like we said, it sneaks up on you every year. And
my favorite holiday.
My head is spinning. But I'm thinking I'll probably collect all my batteries and tie them in a plastic bag knot and throw them into the woods as hard as I can.
Dude, appreciate it, dude. It doesn't mean that this is an eco-friendly day. It means how are you celebrating Household Hazardous Waste Day?
I'm going to dispose of it, yeah.
Do you want to...
Also, I have an old bottle of bleach I might pour down the drain, or I might swish it around in my mouth and spit it.
Sure. Yeah, no, of course.
But yeah, no, it always sneaks up on me, though. It's always like, oh, shit, what am I going to do? And I should plan for it. I'm putting them in a calendar next year so I know to really dispose of my hazardous waste.
Yeah, and label and organize. So when the judges come to see how much hazardous waste you have at your house, are you going to win or are you not?
Well,
we're
what
looking
I'm
for
tell
winners
him is
here.
I'm from Mars and I don't listen to no fucking woman. That's what I'm going to tell him. Knocking at my door.
Shout out to...
You'll get that later.
Shout out to... What's his name?
Something horse.
iHorse.
iHorse Javevic. iHorse Javevic. That's from him. Dominic...
Keep listening and you'll know what that's all about. I promise you it's funnier than you think it is.
Dominic, how much hazardous waste do you have at your house or even at your parents' house?
You know,
do you think you could beat my mom?
No, I don't think I could beat your mom in a fight or hazardous waste material. But I will say,
I would think it'd be a pretty close bet between Raymond Road and Cook Lane for hazardous waste. I like the way the giant golden scale.
That's all I want to know.
Cook Lane,
because I mean,
well,
Lane has,
I also
I'm talking, Dom. I'm not talking about like you're at your house. Like the sheds and all. I mean, there's some hazardous ass shit.
There's probably a lot of
paint cans from 1975.
Plenty of arsenic in the ground from the apple trees used to be there.
Arsenic for sure. Asbestos
yeah, for sure.
But I will say the thing about Hazardous Waste Day is I actually don't celebrate it. I celebrate Dam Day when they open up the Wachusett Dam this Saturday, and you can walk across the dam.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
And dumping oil.
Okay,
into the
so
Wachusett
we're from
Reservoir.
different cultures, is all you're saying.
Yes, and
that's okay.
yours is wrong. Mine's right.
Yeah, I celebrate Household Hazardous Waste Day. You celebrate Dam Day. We're different people. We probably couldn't intermingle.
I have Dam
if
Day
there was an
marked on my
arranged
calendar.
marriage between me and, say, one of your sisters, they would say no at the church.
Yeah, but we do both like eggs.
Yeah. But if you did get married, you would probably get married on the dam, and you would dump a half tank of motor oil into the.
No.
No. I would not do that, Joe. I would throw a car battery in the fucking water.
Okay, I don't understand your culture, but I'm open to it.
That's
and I
my
apologize.
culture. We'd throw a car battery right in the fucking reservoir.
I'd rather get married
The
on a
Alkaline
warm,
Boys.
rainy day in February.
So would I.
Is that what I did?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes. Okay. I'll just check
It was
I
like
forgot.
55 degrees in middle of February, and it rained a shit ton.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd rather throw a car battery in the ocean than do that again. So
Okay, clip it.
What?
Keep going.
Oh, nothing. That'll be on the soundboard later.
It's all about throwing car batteries in reservoirs or in oceans. If you celebrate Household Hazardous Waste Day, if you're that type of person, but Dominic and his family, the Moros, are people who celebrate the opening of the dam in Clinton.
Only one day they let you
The
walk
Clinton
on.
Dam.
Yeah.
If you're a Clinton Dam
It's great.
It's
opener,
fucking awesome.
you can
I-
celebrate that in Clinton where the birds fly backwards.
It's much more
Or-
lovely. What do you say?
What?
The birds fly backwards?
The birds
What's
fly
that?
backwards in Clinton. Yes.
Oh, is that true?
This is true. Joe, you
didn't
can
know
probably
that.
confirm it. You lived in
Clinton.
Clinton.
I
Birthplace
did.
of the sport.
I went to the damn day we did, like, I mean, I don't know how
It
long
was,
ago
it was
a while ago.
4 or 5 years ago at Angela's wedding. It was the day after Angela's
But
wedding.
anyways, we went there. It was lovely.
It's fucking awesome.
lovely.
Highly recommend.
I'm going
How many
again.
how many birds were going the wrong direction?
I don't know what that even means.
Well, all the birds that are walking away from me are going the wrong direction. Am I right, mate? All these silly chicks are walking away from the biggest prize on the dam.
Very good. So, guys, yeah, no problem, Joe. Happy to give you that. I'm one half of the white trash. I'm car batteries in the fucking reservoir, Dylan.
Dude, Dylan,
And-
you're such a fucking jerk, dude.
And
We're 7 minutes into car batteries. He does this to
that's
piss me off.
that's Dom who
He does
celebrates
this to make me
Clinton.
upset.
Clinton fucking
Wachusett
dams, and then Joe's somewhere in the fucking middle. And today we're talking about the Orang Medan.
Is that
And
right?
what?
Is that right? I couldn't tell from the last hour and a half of conversation that's what we're talking about. But I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you. Okay.
We talk about the water, dude. Rush 2112. So
You, I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
So, Orang Medan was the SS Orang Medan,
That's
and it was a ghost ship in
ghost ship.
1947.
Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about today, folks.
Where a lot of
We're
people got
back on this
fucked.
high seas. We haven't talked about the seas for a while. We're big pirate guys, obviously.
We just talked about the seas with car batteries.
You did.
No, I'm talking about
Car
the
batteries
podcast,
in the ocean.
you motherfucker. I'm talking about I'm talking about the podcast. And not only do we have the paranormal coming back, we have the ships coming back. We're on the ocean again. And that's why as soon as Dylan suggested this, I was like, this is fucking awesome. I mean, you gotta get back into this ghost ship stuff, and you really dig into this thing. And what the hell went on here? This is in the 1940s, as far as we understand, and it's the story of the Obla Di Obla Di, or whatever it's called.
Orangutan.
No, it's called the Orang Medan.
Orang Medan.
Yeah,
there's a
so
reason
what
why
happened-
It sounds like orangutan.
Is that
We'll get into that
there's
later.
some weird, orangutan is what I say, or orangutan.
No, it's Orang Medan, yeah.
Orang Medan. And that does mean
Orang
something.
Medan.
We'll get to that shortly, but
Surely.
this was a Dutch Indies, which is the modern Indonesia, which is in the Straits of Malacca waters. And a bunch of folks came across a random ship that was just floating around, like no one was running it. In 1940, 1947, 1948, depending on the newspaper source. So we had things like
Number
Elsevier.
one questionable circumstance. It either happened 1 year or 9 years later.
Well, but even like a really renowned, still
You know,
to
like
this
9/11.
day-
It either happened in September 11, 2001 or 2009 or 2008. It's hard to say.
I know, but dude, it was back then, man. It's all good. So like,
they had
even
they had fucking nuclear weapons.
yeah,
I was
but
thinking the story was in
we've
1700s.
realized
They
that
literally had
governments can do
telephones.
nuclear weapons really well, but they can't do fucking dick well. That's the fact.
That's true.
So-
Because they
This
keep
is
their
true. I'm
cars
speaking
clean.
facts
sorry.
here.
Yeah. No, I'll let you finish setting up.
That means they're boring. Is that, so there's a couple things going on here where I feel like we can go through some microfiche of these things because Elsevier has records of it.
I think we should break it down one by one. Step one is you said they came across it. Every story I heard said they had an SOS signal go out and they went seeking out the ship. They didn't come across it.
They
That's
had
what
an
I've
SOS signal, but then how does they had an SOS signal go out? But anyways,
But when they
there's a
came
ship,
across
there's
it,
a ship
they
that
were
found the
well
ship
aware.
and then
They
had
had to go
reports of
looking
that,
for it.
but an SOS signal came out first.
Yes, but when they arrived, from what I hear, the ship that arrived at it, they were fully aware that the ship was in distress.
They went
weren't
searching
like,
for
oh, what's
it.
this? Yeah, they were looking for it actively. I didn't hear any story. I've heard 10 versions of the story. No version of the story said that it was an accident. They all said they were looking for it and they found it. I don't know if you...
Yeah, no one can. Yeah, exactly. You're right. So they were looking for it and found it, and it was in Elsevier's Weekly, which is not like a fucking Dicktown episode.
What even
of-
is that?
Dicktown?
No, I know that. That's a great television show on Hulu.
Oh, Elsevier is
What's
one of like the
Elsevier's
big.
Weekly? It sounds like a newspaper.
Elsevier, it is. Elsevier is one of like the big fives back in the day.
Okay.
Elsevier still does medical and academic journals. Like they're
okay.
legit motherfucking.
I was so off base. I thought you were telling me where the ship was. You're like, it
No,
was in
no,
Elsevier's
no.
Weekly. I'm like, is that the Indian Ocean? I don't know what the fuck that is.
No, the Elsevier Weekly is the source of this. So
Gotcha.
someone wrote
This is
for
the
Elsevier
original
Weekly
source?
on this. Yeah, the
The
original
story.
source is Elsevier Weekly. And
Is
that's
it Spanish for the Severe Weekly?
it's all one word.
Oh, okay. Even
And
weekly.
it's not spelled severe. It's Elsevier, and Elsevier does they're a competitor to ProQuest, and to EBSCO, and to LexisNexis, and
Oh, okay,
Elsevier.
so this is
like
deeply
big
in
four
Dylan's
database
world.
company. Yeah, and publication company. So it's not like this came from like Dick and Joe's fucking jerk off. I don't take no orders
There
from
was
no
no
woman.
blogs in the
fucking
40s.
blog.
There was no tweeting. Yeah, it was a periodical of note.
Yes, exactly. So.
And newspapers never made anything up, and they never will.
Yep, exactly. And then it got turned on to the Albany Times on New York, and they said that this happened.
All right.
There
Let's get into the full story before we get into the minutia, because I love to tear this apart with you.
Sure,
But if we get into the Elsevier Weekly part, from what I know, that's not the first newspaper that picked it up. It was in London. But yeah, let's get into the story. Why don't you take us through the story, Dylan, and I'll try my hardest not to interrupt you and let you tell us the story of the Orang Medan and why it's a ghost ship, or what happened when they came arrived at it.
Yeah. Let's get down to the story. What do you think of that? So
I would love to. Or do you want me to tell us, since you can't remember it and you're trying to read Wikipedia? Because I remember it.
no, I'm remembering this from the top of my head. So
Cool.
At some point in time around June 1947, two American vessels navigating the Straits of Malacca, which one of them was the city of Baltimore.
That was the name
As
of
a whole.
this whole city of Baltimore was out there floating.
I wouldn't
wish-
have guessed.
No.
I
The
wish it
city
never
of
came
Baltimore was in the Straits of Malacca.
So that's the name of the ship, the city of Baltimore.
No. I think you got it wrong, Joe. The city of Baltimore was there in
I think I got it right.
the Straits of Malacca.
And so was the Spirit of St. Louis.
So was
Yeah,
Spirit
that was hard to say.
the spirit of St.
Not-
Louis
not the
was
famous
there,
club.
too.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Not Charles Lindbergh and his thing. The spirit of St. Louis
That's
in
another
the
episode.
city of Baltimore.
That's another dead people episode.
We're there at this time, and the Silver Star.
Nope.
Among others passing by. picked up several distress signals from the nearby Dutch merchant ship Orang Medan, like orangutan.
Exactly.
And a radio
also,
operator
before
aboard.
we keep talking about it, it's orangutan, not orangutan. Tang is
It's
the
not
astronaut
orangutan.
drink.
Are you shitting me? It's orangutan.
No, he's talking about the animal. It's orangutan.
I know, but you just said orangutan. And we talked about this before the podcast. Because of all
That's
the
the
orange
animal.
drink
Yeah,
Tang.
orangutan.
You're like, oh, it's an orangutan, and I said that my whole life too. It's actually
Yeah,
orangutan.
I'm not gonna stop how I say it.
Orangutan.
I'm
Yeah.
still gonna say orangutan.
No, I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna let that one go, Joe. It's gonna
That's
orangutan.
all right. But just for the listeners, I'm smart, and everyone else.
Oh
is
yeah.
not.
Hey,
That's all I
you're an
want.
orangutan. Cool.
Well, I am an
Um,
orange monkey boy, so pretty much yeah.
You are, and I love Tang. Tang was
I'm
fun.
just not
You're
as
This
strong
shit.
as them.
Jungle Man.
I remember drinking Tang when I was like 4, and it was good.
had Tang.
So,
Tang,
thanks, Joe.
I remember being very
Orangutan.
good.
Wish it was orangutan.
Orangutan
So-
or orangutan? Am I right?
That's what I'm saying. So, a radio operator aboard the orangutan sent the
Oof.
following
I
message
shouldn't
in
have said
Morse
anything.
code: SOS from Orang Medan. We float. All officers, including the captain, dead in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole of crew dead. Star, star, star. A few confused dots and dashes of Morse code later, 2 words came through clearly. They were.
I
someone help me?
die.
Thank you,
died.
Dominic. I died.
That is haunting.
Then after that
to get
chilling
that
message, there was nothing more heard of.
Yeah, that is.
That's
pretty
all that
haunting to
happened.
hear that. That's a rough SOS to hear through Morse code. You're
And
like, oh shit, that's
Like
scary.
one of the other crazy things about it is they got this message in, then heard nothing, and they tried to figure out where it came from. And at first, they couldn't find it. They had to use I forget exactly what it was. They had these 2 towers point in the direction to help find it, and finally they feel like, oh, it was somewhere.
Some sort of triangulation,
triangulation
bullshit.
shit. It was there. Finally, they were
Yeah.
like, oh, it's somewhere in the Indian Ocean off of the shipping lanes. This isn't this ship shouldn't have even been out there.
Yeah, it's not approved by the normal shipping situation.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah,
let
I
me
mean
finish-
that's some
let me
haunting.
finish
That
the
wouldn't make me
basics.
want to. Oh sure, I'm just saying that wouldn't make me want to go search for somebody. If someone said SOS, we need help, people are injured, I would want to go see that. It said the SOS was everyone's dead and I am dead too. I go, well, we can take your time. They're all.
Well,
dead.
he didn't say I'm dead too. He said
I
I
die.
die.
It's
I
like
would've
in
taken
Monty
that as
Python and the
I'm
Holy
dead.
Grail when Joseph of Arimathea carves his last message into it and goes, Like, what happened? He must have died.
Yeah,
he wouldn't carve.
I would take that as they're all dead and let's not get there too fast because why did they die and all that other shit. But sorry, go ahead. Dylan.
Yeah, he could have been literally writing at the time, and I die wasn't like I die because it'd be like, hey, I'm going to die was what I would think.
But he died.
Yeah.
We could have said.
Yeah, we'll get
but
into
digress
how
spelled differently.
ridiculous
He could have
that
said
message is and how he didn't send that.
he could have
It's all
been
bullshit,
writing
but-
and then died while he's writing and said, I die when I don't take no orders from no woman.
No, yeah, see, yeah, exactly. I die
that
is
could've-
no way to say any sentence.
That,
I die
that
only
was
means
probably what
that's
he was
what you're
trying
currently
to
doing.
say, right?
Maybe. I mean, you could be an I horse scenario.
I horse
don't know.
Gevich.
Yeah.
It could have been
Shevich.
him before his current his
I
current
hope
affairs
not.
of
I hope this guy
of-
was.
of
Because now I'm not gonna feel bad
dumping
for him.
illegally dumping tens of thousands of pounds of trees in a
Folks, I
suburban
promise you, this will all make
East
sense
Michigan.
after the commercial break.
East Michigan.
No one in the podcast has heard that yet, but yes,
They
we will
have.
play it for you later.
Guys, this is a YouTube video. It's funny.
Do not go into it. Or they're gonna hear it later. The whole
Go into it,
conversation we
but
had.
but
bit
he
by
could have said
bit.
I die because I don't take no orders from no woman. But I'm referencing Igor Dugevich, who you will see shortly, who
Right, so the
dumped a
joke
lot
is
of
funny the
things
third time explaining
illegally
it, not the first
in
time.
East
Got it. Cool.
Michigan.
Yep.
And it's funny. So Joe,
Yeah.
you finish the story. I can't believe you keep interrupting me. When the Silver Star crew eventually located
Dom,
I'm sorry,
I'll
I
kill you.
the
forgot.
Silver Star is
turn
in
your head.
1947. The Silver Star was another great boat. Great boat.
Yeah.
Great boat.
They might take
they
offense to that. They say
located-
we're a ship. Thank you very much.
It was a ship. They located and boarded an undamaged orangutan.
Ooh.
And in an attempt to rescue, the ship was found literally littered. Just littered. Like the street that Igor Nevevich dumped all of his fucking wood on.
This is
that
a big
bad.
payoff when people finally
Dude,
see
that
it.
bad.
Be like, oh,
Dude, Igor
Nevevich,
Devevich littered that street with fucking
Dylan
wood,
has
dude.
no respect for the audience. Just remember that. Your Daddy
Littered.
Joe is taking care
Dude.
of you. This guy doesn't give a fuck
Dude,
about
he
you.
littered the
It's
fucking
all about
street.
his little jokesies that he likes to make.
Igor Devevich littered
It's
that
all
fucking
about
street
him,
with wood.
baby. He's laughing at it.
And except for Joe, this isn't funny.
No, it's fine. You
isn't
don't care about
funny.
the audience. I don't care.
No, this
That's
isn't
fine.
funny at all. He didn't litter the street with wood. The orang medan was littered with corpses of dead
The entire crew.
people sailors,
The whole
Yeah.
crew was dead. Yeah.
including unfortunately the carcass of a dog. So
That's not great.
and these dead bodies were found sprawled on their backs, frozen, and allegedly badly frightened. So they were on their back, rigor mortis
Yeah.
is
It's like
like
they saw the ring.
with
Yeah.
their mouth
7
open, like they
days.
saw
Mouth
the
open,
ringer.
eyes
Yeah,
bulging.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Even the dog was
They look
snarling
terrified.
when it died.
yeah,
Yeah. They all
yeah,
died
exactly.
in a position of terror and fear, just fully horrific situation.
Yeah, their
I mean, even to
mouths.
show up on a boat and everyone's dead, it's got to be an awful sight to come upon. You have this whole journey for hours and maybe even days to get there, and you arrive and everyone's dead.
Yeah.
And they all look like
And they're
they've
like-
seen a fucking ghost. That's
It almost seemed like
grim
they were like
stuff.
trying to fight something off. They were like,
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
like,
they
yeah,
were
exactly.
Reaper. Fucking Grim
bad.
Reaper came from.
What would you rather do? Would you rather work a 9 to 5 selling fucking databases, or your job is to go check out this shit? I'd rather be in the hood. So
I'd rather be selling shit on the fucking CVS than
I know,
go
this sounds
arrive
interesting.
on this stuff.
I'm down. I've seen
It's
enough.
interesting, but I like to hear about it. Not show up on a boat and be 1,500 miles away from civilization with dead bodies next to me. That sounds very uncomfortable. I want to go home.
A drink's a drink, Joe. You know that, right? So
I don't know how that pertains to it, but I agree.
you can have a drink after you write your papers, and you go,
Oh,
"Whoa,
you
this
want to
is
go
a-"
through a traumatic event
this
and then
sucks.
drink after. Got it. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm
I get
talking
what
about.
you're saying
That
now, yeah.
definitely makes a difference. It makes
Sure.
a huge difference, actually, having a drink
Yeah, I've been
after
to a
traumatic
funeral.
events.
I know what you're talking about.
No. Funeral's not tragic at all. Having the person with their head cut off next to you is tragic. Then you have a drink and it gets better.
I think
So-
I think my thing still works.
Nah, I know a thing about this. So no survivors were located, and there was no signs of injuries on any of them.
Was there any signs of intercourse?
"Sir, those
No.
reports were quickly exhumed from the file."
Those
Yeah,
reports
those
were
ones.
exaggerated at best.
And
So that's what we got. We had a ghost ship story, and yeah, there's a distress signal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I thought you were done.
I'm
not done.
The ship
well, no, we're not there yet. We're not
That's
ready
oh,
for that.
oh,
yet.
all right, yeah. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. You get Joe.
The way
Joe, you get
settled
this.
it, that was
So-
my fault. I thought you were done talking about it. That was my fault. I'm sorry. No, we'll
So
go into the after
you're
talk,
right.
but let him
You're
finish the
right. They
story,
prepared it
and
for
then we'll go back
prepare
and
for
we'll pick it
tow,
apart.
Yep,
and they were towing this motherfucker, and Joe's gonna take it from here.
No, yeah. So they actually attached the tow when they went over to meet the boat, as far as I understand, and they figured, well, we don't know what went on here, but we want to do some kind of forensic investigation, figure the ship out. At the very least, we can get the reward for salvaging.
Well,
the
it's
ship that's
common
probably
practice that
worth
if you
multiple
find
millions
an
of dollars.
abandoned ship, you tow it in.
That makes sense. That way you can kind of figure out what happened. But within the process of them discovering what's going on in the ship, they found in the fourth storage quarter, or whatever you call it, the storage room 4, there was a fire active. And they said, fuck this. We got to get out of here. We're already creeped out the God.
Literally, no crew members
And,
of the
this
Silver
thing's
Star
on
would
fire.
stay on the orangutan during the tow like you're supposed to. They were all like, fuck that, just hook it up. We're getting back on the Silver Star and going. We're not staying on that ship.
All right, well, again, we were already hearing alternate stories because the story I heard was that before they even got off, it was during the tow that they started to realize that the shit's on fire, and then they disengaged the tow cable and then
Yes.
let it.
Yeah, no,
burn
I know,
to the-
but the story I heard is when they noticed it was on fire, they were already off the orangutan. They were just towing it.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause the story I heard is that they were searching the ship and they noticed a small fire, and then at that point they abandoned the whole operation. But either way,
these changing
the ship
stories
caught on
might
fire
mean
in
a
the
lot
exact
at the
moment
end.
that they showed up, just in time for it to be exciting, and then like a movie, it exploded as soon as they got off the ship.
Didn't just explode. It exploded
like
enough.
They jumped off the ship.
To get airborne.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
I didn't hear that.
I heard the
there's many versions of the story. Wow, well, there's a lot of versions of the story.
The ship got out of the water with the explosion.
Jeez, I don't know if that's possible.
Of course it's not possible. It would
wow.
just blow up and then sink.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, the whole entire ship went to Davy Jones' locker.
Airborne's possible.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. Through an explosion.
Through an internal explosion?
The middle blows up. Have you guys...
Yeah, the middle.
No,
blows
you
up,
need
and then the other two sides go in the water.
The whole thing would never go airborne, but parts of it
That's
would.
what he said.
Are
you didn't say parts went out of the water. Come on, you're split hairs. No fuck.
Jesus, God damn it.
Of course, parts went out of the water. The whole entire top blew off. That's all out of the water.
Yeah, but in an internal explosion, it would push all around, part of being down, so it wouldn't stay mostly in place.
Of course.
Because the ship blew up and the hull got out of the water. The entire
Lifted.
thing.
Like it jumped. Like it did it all.
50% of the whole can get water, not 100%. 50% max.
So we
Because
all
it'll break
agree.
up like this.
So we
Because
all
it'll
agree.
break up like this, and then it'll
So we
go
all
down.
agree.
But
And
it
we've all
won't. It
seen
won't go.
footage of
Yeah,
ships
that's
sinking.
why Joe and I are
And
saying
Dylan's not
that
gonna
one
big
now.
dog.
It
us
won't
and
do
talk about
the
this.
same
Not
page
happening.
now.
But this will happen. Then it'll.
All
do
right,
this.
we all agree. Cool. That was a waste of 5
All right,
minutes.
just making sure that
Yeah,
we're
yep.
all
Yep.
we're all okay.
Yeah, Dylan, we could have been like that the whole time if you just fucking got along with it. Come on now. That's all we said. That's all we said. Anyway,
Joe, I didn't go to school.
The shit burned. I hate you so much. The shit burned to the ground. To the water, I should say. And so, unfortunately, because the ship, exploded, jumped out of the water, Looney Tunes, and went under the sea, and the Silver Star left it behind, we can't actually research what happened on the ship. So most of this comes from tales of before, after, and the stories of the witnesses in the event, and speculation. And that's what brings us here today. The story of the Orang Medan. What happened? Why was it a ghost ship? Why were they all dead? And why did they even put out the distress signal if he had time to survive? I mean, what's that all about? And is it even real, or it's a complete bullshit made up story by a ghost story kid? We'll find out today on the Dylan and Joe Basement Podcast after this commercial break.
A possible case of illegal dumping in the middle of the street made one neighbor very upset, and he ended up chasing the person responsible on Detroit's east side.
With no luck and a big mess on his hand, he called us for help. Tara Edwards tells us what happened after he reached out to 7 Action News.
We first introduced you to Jeff Brown during 7 Action News at 5. He witnessed a man boldly dumping large chunks of wood from a flatbed along Cowles on Detroit's east side Tuesday in broad daylight. Brown says when he confronted the guy, the man took off. Brown tells us he jumped into action, got into his car, and tracked down the truck. He got a license plate number and called police, but the mess remained on the street and no one had been caught. Taking action for Brown, we did some digging and found Ihor Stikevich, a Warren resident. The truck Brown described parked in the driveway. Wood covered his yard. Stikevich claims he hit a curb and the debris accidentally fell out. It's a little illegal to leave the wood in the street, so what I'm asking is...
I mean, you don't have to ask me, and I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way. By the way, I don't take no orders from no women.
Stikevich says he was planning to go back and clean up the wood, but only had $1 worth of gas. So you were saying that you were going back to clean up the wood?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm Mr. Cleanup. Okay. I'm not Mr. Clean. I'm Mr. Clean Up.
Somebody said
and
that...
I live in Warren, and I'm cleaning up Detroit. Go figure that one out.
But somebody said that they tried to yell at you to come back, and you kept going, and
it
then...
must have been a woman, and I don't listen to women yelling. I tell them to shut up.
While he was quite offensive with his answers, Stikevich maintains he just wants to help people remove chunks of wood from their property.
I lift them all by myself with nobody else's help. Old guys, disabled guys, black guys, white guys, Polish guys, Ukrainian guys, and guys from Mars also.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
From Mars?
From Mars. Yeah, that's where I'm from, Mars.
And police are investigating what exactly happened out here and whether Stikevich is responsible or whether he'll face any charges. On Detroit's east side, Tara Edwards, 7 Action News.
So, hey guys, welcome back to the
What are you doing? It didn't start yet. You see the numbers, you
Jesus
bitch?
fucking
You see them,
Christ.
right?
It
Am I the only one who
says
sees the numbers?
recording
It
right
goes
now.
5,
I've seen the
4,
numbers.
3,
Oh my god,
2,
dude. It goes
1.
540. I'm in.
I'm seeing all 5 numbers. I'm seeing
No one
all
else
5
is.
numbers.
I'm seeing all the numbers.
I'm not seeing shit, dude. So,
Well,
guys,
I'm sorry.
welcome back to the Dylan Joe Basin podcast. We're a bunch of fucking assholes who can't stop fighting.
I hate you.
And Joe hates me. I hate him, and I'm gonna get in a fight with Dom. I'm gonna choke out Dom.
We just
and I'm
talked
gonna
about
break,
Cherokees for half an hour.
I'm gonna break Joe's headphones. I'm
This is
Dylan.
easily going to be our. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's Joe.
All right, I need
That's
to
Dom.
welcome
Today we're
back.
talking about the orangutan.
Dylan just dropped a huge piece of information that we've been leading up to for an hour before we even started. So that's cool. Why wouldn't you do that right now?
Yeah,
It's great.
why not, dude? It's a ghost
Go ahead.
ship.
What's it stand for? Because now we're getting into it.
Yeah, dude, this
sorry.
makes sense. Orang-medan. Orang means
Man of.
man of, and Medan is a town, so he's like the man of the town.
No, it means it's a name of it. It's not. It's like man of Boston, not man of the town. It's a man from Medan.
Medan's the town itself. It's like
Yes.
man of
Medan.
Orange, Massachusetts.
Yes,
Yes.
another good example.
Except
like
Medan
Boston.
is orange.
No, you're thinking Mandarin.
No. Still no.
Slow down.
Medan, picture it being the name Boston or Salem. Oran, Salem. Oran, Boston.
Yeah, man of Boston. Like man of
Yes.
orange.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
But
Yes.
but the orange part isn't the first part, it's the second part. Yes. Yeah. Even though
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
word
okay,
sounds
all right,
like
cool.
orange.
Yeah, got that. I did go to school, okay? I got it.
I thought you
So-
didn't go to school.
Earlier in this episode,
I
you
didn't
said
go
you
to
did not
school.
go to school.
Now you went to school. It's all depending on whatever.
I went back and forth to school for a bit, but I did graduate high school, so it's really
That's awesome.
the most
That's so,
important
It's so
thing.
cool and important.
That
to
is
the podcast.
actually, although Joe has the highest education of all of us, we all, graduation-wise,
I don't know about that. Me and
just-
Joe, I think, are tied, dude.
I think I had a little more time than you. But
I don't know about that. What year did you quit?
I did 2 years. I did 2 full years, then I quit.
What year did you fully quit? That's
2
gonna
years.
tell us what
And
happened.
I didn't. And in my second year, I didn't do like half a semester. I drove for like 1 class. Like I did 2 full years, and then I dropped out.
Of drama?
Yeah.
Right. So I did
did
half.
only 2 years.
I did half of that of
I did all my high
math.
school shit.
No, so you did 2 years of drama. I did half of
Dude,
math
I had 2
and
theater
business.
classes the entire time. I did science,
who's-
philosophy, theater, history. Like I did everything. Like,
God, who's smarter, dude? Who's smarter? We need to figure this out.
I'm not saying anyways, it's fine. I'm just saying I think that your second year in college, you like were at home, like chilling, being like, I can't really come in today, like your entire life. And then I was like always having to be there every day.
I
living on
can't
campus,
come in
living on
because
campus.
me and Joe
being
and
there.
Jeff fucking drank a
Like, my grades were
60
going
pack of
down.
Bud Light in my mom's basement and had to clean up after them. This fucking whole floor is full of sticky beer. Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah,
it's your
yeah.
first thing,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I went to more school than you. Even if you
I got
graduated
jerked
college,
off in
I
the
still went to
woods.
school
I don't
more
know
than
what to
you.
do about
You
this. Do
barely showed up.
I hose down
Why
the
would you have to
fucking
do something? It's in
cum?
the woods.
Hose
Dude, I
down cum.
gotta hose it down, dude.
No, you're right. No, you did a lot for us. I would never take that.
All right, so
If you
another
like this style of
podcast, another episode,
email
we'll
us
figure out
at
who's smarter, me or Joe.
at djbp.com.
I'm not saying I'm smarter than you. I thought the question was who
Well,
went
we
to
won't
more
know.
college, and I went
It
to
wasn't
No,
smart.
because-
I was just trying
because
to
I actually had to
to
go
more
to
college.
classes, and I lived on campus. I couldn't
I
just
was
like
just,
take
when
it.
I did
okay,
too.
When I started this, I was just trying to say that
Oh, I thought you
we
did.
our last graduation was high school.
Yes.
Yes.
So we are all pretty much
Yes,
on the same boat.
everyone here. That's a
That's the last
fact.
graduation. Yeah.
Yes,
that's for
we
sure.
all graduated high school for sure.
And
I
that was
think.
it.
Success.
We don't know about
Anyways,
Dom. I never
please
heard about
Christ.
him.
I
I wasn't
got, I
there.
got 2 diplomas from high school.
2?
I got
Yeah,
5
one
years.
for academics, one for shop.
So Dom's the most educated by far.
Well, yeah. Well, his
By
education
diplomas
did-
alone.
I know his education did the most for him by far.
Yeah.
Oh, we know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no
That's
question
a
on that.
no-brainer.
Yeah,
I
no
don't care
question.
how I could have
So,
gone all 4 years. Dom would still be better off than me. It's like,
Dom,
yeah,
do you want
I
to be
learned something.
CEO of this podcast?
I don't like labels like that.
I know, but you have the education, clearly.
Okay.
So
have a shop degree
orang-medan
and
means
a high
man
school
from
degree.
Medan, and orangutan means man from the forest, and that's why it's that part of Indonesia where it's Borneo, I believe, where most orangutans are, and that's what the ship was named after. It meant man of Medan, much like man of the forest. The town's name is Medan, and that starts our mystery off of why this ship was even named that. As far as I understand, it's a Dutch ship, which the Dutch owned half of the world over there.
Dutch.
We don't hear about it a lot in America because it's mostly like England, France, but
The Dutch Indies.
the Dutch the East Indies Company, the Dutch owned a big portion of the world. Like there was like a 200-year period where Spain owned the entire world, Netherlands owned the entire world, Portugal, like everyone had their time, and then England was the last one. England get the hot potato last, and they're like, okay, now we have the biggest empire. And
we're gonna be the ones to fuck it up the most.
Yeah, but they're the last ones with it in their hands. So and now World War II happens. Now it's in English. Now everyone in the world has to speak English and use the dollar, or they're done. Like they just happen to be. It could have easily been all speaking Dutch or Portuguese, because 100 years before that, England had nothing. I mean, in comparison to Spain was running shit, and England was kind of like a little tiny. Try it out. Anyways, that's what it comes from, and that starts our mystery of what this ship actually is. Because let's get into the fucking my new show we talked about earlier, Dom. I'm gonna put my statement out here right away. I heard 4 different versions of the story, and they're all different, and they're different years, and there's different versions of it. And that reeks to me of a good old-fashioned bullshit story.
Yeah.
You're bullshit.
I'm coming off of this with I only listened to... I'm actually kind of glad this is the way we're doing it. You heard 4 stories. I'm going solely off of one account.
Mm-hmm. And Dylan's going off of Wikipedia, so we all have different versions.
Going off of ChatGPT 4.0.
Fuck off.
Well,
I don't want to rant about AI 3 episodes in a row.
We're not going to. But here's the other point of that I want to say is that all the information that I've heard from sources are all from newspapers. There's no records on any international
the only
shipping.
The closest thing to like an actual record is apparently May of 1952. The U.S. Coast Guard put out a report about what happened,
which is approximately 12 years after the incident.
No, 1952.
Yeah,
it happened in 1947.
That's a different version I heard. 1947. I heard 1940, 47, 48.
Oh, see, Dylan and I have been going off of 47, 48 the whole time. Because that's what he said at the
48 and 50. Yeah, you're right.
To me, that sounds more accurate because most of the stories cluster around 3 years, which is not how real stories do, but it's how fun stories do. It's within a 3 or 4 year period. It happened. But there's no record of that name on any shipping manifest, and they have an international log.
There's a good theory on that, though. Have you heard that theory?
Well, let me finish talking, and then you can refute me. There's an international shipping manifest of all large shipping container ships or any major ship. It's never been listed. That name's never been listed anywhere, and also it's never been any track on any kind of records of naval ships, merchant ships. It's nowhere. Yeah. It's nowhere until you hear a news
didn't come through any ports.
No ports, nothing. And then the Coast Guard mentions it. I mean, even if we say it's 1949, 3 years after it happened, they go, "Oh yeah, this happened," and they didn't. Be clear, they didn't mention it in a report. It was the Coast Guard published an article about the safety protocols in ships. And then they mentioned that as part of like the safety protocols and learning how to, be more reactive and communicative. They never said the Coast Guard never said, here's the log of the Orang Medan, here's what happened. They just said, oh, here's the story, but we heard about this. And they acted like it was real, but they heard it 3 years ago in newspapers. So I don't know what that's hard evidence for it happening.
Well, one of the theories I heard for why there was no record of the ship was, and I hope I'm not jumping too far ahead here, was that it was part of
you're jumping in the exact amount ahead, if I can guess what you're saying.
A smuggling operation, and it was a ship with a previously known name, and once they went out, they hastily changed the name of the ship, like painted over the name, painted a new name on it, so that there was no record of it. They didn't want it to be a trackable ship, but they weren't expecting to all die in the process of moving this cargo.
Yes. And I think that Dom is on something here, Dylan. I don't know if you heard.
He is.
I think that is why there's no record of it. Not because it didn't exist, but because they didn't want to be on record.
Well, yes, that brings up a real important topic, Joe. I appreciate that. Is that...
I love you, by the way. I just wanted to say I love you.
Love you too, dude.
Right,
Big fan. Big fan of both of you guys. You guys are both...
Ditto.
You guys are both so fucking hot and so fucking cool. That my pants can't even stay on, just like when I was at
like when someone's massaging your ass
and they were pushing my butt down and I was getting a boner and they put me over and I said, no, I'm not the type of guy. Not doing this. You guys are awesome. I love you guys too. So
hell yeah. All right, what you were saying was
what I was saying is that there's something more to this. Definitely. Is that there's not a lot of records of the ship, and that's cool, It's all good.
It's pretty
sick. Why are there not a lot of records of the ship? And they think that since this is 1947, which is the first real thing here is that there was
the Cold War, post-World War II.
No. Actually, nothing to do with the Cold War, Joe. That's a good assumption, but it's not a thing. So what they're thinking is that during the actual World War II, the Japanese were very similar to the Nazis in human experimentation.
Almost like they were on the same side.
Just like the Bird. Do you guys know who the Bird is?
I believe it was Michael Keaton.
The Word.
Good question. Good guess, Dom. The Bird is the Word. Joe, appreciate that. Do you guys know who the Bird is? Who's
Larry
a Japanese
Bird.
guy?
No, never heard of him.
Nope. All right. So in the book, The Unforgiven?
The Metallica song?
It might be The Unforgiven. It's a Metallica song, and you're right. No, there's a book called The Unforgotten, Unforgiven, and whatever the fuck. It's Angelina Jolie's neighbor in the LA Hollywood area who is a B-24 or B-25 pilot who got shot down over the Pacific, and he got brought into a Japanese concentration camp, and the Bird was the shitty Hitler of the time who abused the fuck out of them in concentration camps. And what happened?
It's like more of a Mengele situation or something like that. Like obviously he wasn't Hitler.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. So like
Pol Pot.
Well, yeah. So Joe, can you name other Nazi leaders?
Nope.
Because you mentioned Mengele. What else you got? How many
Heinrich
Nazis do you know off the top of your head?
Himmler?
Let's go.
Himmler,
Clock's ticking.
Heinrich Hitler. Let's give you another one.
Himmler. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Dom, chime in.
I don't know any. I only know Hitler.
Hugo
I couldn't tell you a
Stiglitz?
single.
Hugo Stiglitz, nice, but
Every
he was
German knows the story of
he
Hugo
turned back.
Stiglitz.
Hugo Stiglitz, Heinrich
Fuck you,
Himmler.
I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
No, you guys are doing great with your Nazi.
I don't know any. I don't know any Nazi people. I know Hitler. That's the only.
What
name
you're
I know
saying is there was
Nazi
a concentration camp style scientist guy who was experimenting or whatever,
atrocious
but that
things
wasn't
on
Hitler.
His name was the
Hitler didn't
Bird.
do that. The Bird.
He went by the Bird. He went by the Bird.
His nickname was the Bird.
And this guy, yeah, exactly. He went by the Bird, and it was shitty.
Oh, Joseph Goebbels. I got.
Oh, nice, Joseph Goebbels. Yeah, Joe, top notch.
Joe
Joseph
is a
Goebbels was
Nazi. He
one of the
knows-
best
he
of
knows
the
so many
shittiest
Nazi names.
humans
He is
who
a
have
Nazi.
ever lived on this entire planet. Besides,
Also Han Zola.
and Han Zola. Yeah, terrible shitbags. No, the whole point is that just like Joseph Goebbels, all those fuckers, they all did the same thing that the fucking Bird did. The Bird was in Japanese concentration camps where they had American PWs and they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
and
John
that
McCain
type
was
of thing.
there, right?
John McCain was there in Vietnam, yes, not in World War II. But they did the same thing and that type of thing, so that's...
Come on, you got this. Tie it back to what you were saying before. Yeah, I know you have it. You got it.
I do. So the ship, our favorite ship right here, the orangutan, was possibly transporting evidence or chemicals that did shit. Because when the Bird, who was, beating the shit out of people, they would record this. Like, hey, if we expose humans to sulfuric acid, their balls explode, or they get rashes, or they get, whatever, or we drop this in their eyes, and all of a sudden we have Visine. This happened.
Basically, what do you call it? Biological, chemical warfare.
Chemical warfare.
Great
There's
Dead Kennedy
benefits
song,
and
by
these
the
things,
way.
or whatever it is. So that's what happened here. So they were thinking that our friend, the orangutan, the boat, was transporting in 1947 under the CIA.
Under the
some
CIA.
bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, some bullshit that is not able to be tracked. Like, hey, we've got records. We've got records of bullshit coming through here that we don't want people to know about. Yes. We got chemicals we want people to know about. Mm-hmm. And we've got projects we don't want people to know about, Joe. So we're going to bring those through here.
Unlisted boat, smuggling operation.
Unlisted boat, smuggling things for the CIA. And there's just people on here who don't even know what's going on.
Well,
so that's how that goes.
So
I think that's
the
a very
thing
good
about
hypothesis.
what Dylan's talking about precisely is, yes, Germany and Japan were very much into human testing, chemical warfare kind of stuff during World War II. And the main reason why we won World War II is because we got German scientists to defect over to the U.S. And
the main reason.
After the war, they were like, we were doing a lot of this chemical stuff. And the U.S. was like, all right, well, what were you doing? Like, we're working with specifically
Chemical X,
potassium cyanide.
Chemical X.
And
potassium cyanide, famously.
Cyanide's that's an old deal, Dom.
Well, Dylan, a lot of the stories I've heard, there was almost certainly cyanide on the ship. Potassium cyanide. The chemical.
Hitler killed himself with cyanide, but that wasn't a mass.
Can I finish talking?
It's not that
everything
has to be a new
Joe, let Dom finish talking.
Thank you, Joe. Basically, whether it's new chemicals or old, the Germans were doing more research than anyone else at the time. So we were like, well, let's talk to the German scientists we have now. What research were you doing? Oh, you're working with this chemical. Cyanide wasn't commonly used in a war setting. And they were like, well, what if we could find a way to use it in a war setting? So it was most likely that the U.S. was smuggling out of Germany because they had inside people there.
Oh, I think it was
Sorry. Not from Germany. It was coming from Japan because that's why it would go to the Indian Ocean. Yeah. But the U.S., and that's why the Coast Guard ship was the first to get there to see what was going on. Is because the U.S. government was involved.
I thought it was the Silver Star, which is a British ship. The Silver Star was the first to arrive on the scene, not the Coast Guard.
I thought the Silver Star. I'm from what? Oh, maybe I was wrong, but from
I don't think they name U.S. Coast Guard ships cute names like the Silver Star. I think they name it S-102, X-1, X-1.
That's right, Joe. Probably.
I don't know. Well, from the way I understood,
it's not a battleship.
The story I read was it was an American ship that went to investigate the.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the entire story is a game of telephone.
It's all made up anyway.
Yeah. We're all right because we've all heard what we heard. You know.
I'm saying you're wrong, but the entire story is wrong.
But
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're stupid and you're bad at talking.
Joe, do you have a theory on what they were, why they were so hidden before I go into linking the chemicals to what happened?
Sure. Yeah. No. My theory is pretty similar to you. I didn't hear a story about the German chemicals or the Japanese chemicals. All of that I understood was that they were transporting nitroglycerin, sulfuric acid, and potassium cyanide, which are three big no-nos for moving around at all, and are three
and
ways
sulfuric
to
acid.
Die.
He said that.
I said all three of those.
Just making sure.
Yeah, why bother listening?
Which is another reason why you had to have a fake name under the ship is because they wouldn't allow that stuff to pass through a port. Exactly, I'm sure you're about to say that. I'm sorry. But.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah,
that's what I was going to say, Dom.
Okay, Joe.
So anyway, yeah, so that's what they were transporting from what I've heard from my stories and shit like that. But yeah, that would be, like Dom said, that's why you want to keep it quiet. And that's also three things that can kill you if you fuck it up. And they're on one ship together, which I would say, why not spread them out? You know, make 3 trips, but at the same time, the desperation of the trip seems like they wanted to ship them all at once and really pack them in. And these guys, I hope, got paid a lot of money because they were basically doing the.
Do you think they got the money?
When they had to drive the Jeep full of nitroglycerin through the Amazon, and it's like every bump is about to explode. It's like they didn't get the money.
Well, imagine how fucking scary it was to be like, like obviously though, there's the pilot that flew the atom bomb to Nagasaki. It's like, yeah, but what about the pilot that flew it from Arizona close to Japan?
Yeah, we've been on the podcast before. There was a pilot that flew it to North Carolina, and it fell out of the plane, and it's still there.
Mm-hmm. In Pennsylvania and Spain
and Georgia, right?
It happens.
Yeah.
That just shows you how much they're moving these bombs.
On B-52s.
If that many fell, they're moving them like every fucking day, basically. If that many
SAC, Strategic Air Command, after the B-29 got retired, every single mission they ever went on had 4 thermonuclear bombs on them. They'd fly close to Russia, and they'd just be chilling on it.
That's crazy. But anyway, so that's what my take is. The same thing where it's like, I don't know what country it came from, but it was clearly an undercover operation. That's why they couldn't ask for help until it was too late. That's why they weren't listed on any manifest, and that's why they already had the means to kill themselves on board the ship. It didn't come from outside the ship.
Do you think they killed themselves on the ship?
House. Huh?
Do you think they killed themselves on the ship?
I think they were killed on the ship.
Okay, I thought you said kill. Okay.
By cargo.
No. Yeah,
I'm saying they weren't raided by pirates or aliens or spirits. The ship killed them through what their cargo was.
But my favorite kind of theory on it is they were not killed by the chemicals you're thinking of.
Okay.
Because one of the main, and again, I know we keep saying this entire story is speculation. The thing about potassium cyanide is when it gets into the gaseous form, it stays. It doesn't dissipate.
But it still affect your body if you inhale it versus ingesting it. I imagine it's in your bloodstream to do the same thing.
The famous thing about cyanide is it kills you quickly, painlessly. There's no reason for the men to be
quickly and painfully. It's painful.
Yeah, it's painful.
It's very quick, but it's very painful.
Yeah, it excretes the water from your cells.
God, I love internet information because I've always thought
the quick part is kind of accurate, but the pain part is painless.
Hey guys, another thing we used to do for a podcast is that the best way to understand what potassium cyanide does is not through Hitler like you would think.
That's what you would think. But
you would think, always Hitler, is through the Chicago Tylenol murders.
Oh.
And we talked about them another time.
That was cyanide as well?
And the only reason that when you have a security tinfoil on your Tylenol, your Advil, your fucking Viagra, whatever you guys are doing, is because of the Chicago cyanide Tylenol murders.
And if you listen to Dylan Joe Basement Podcast episode, what's the
Basement
best
Podcast,
poison, you'll learn about that, and we went over that story in that episode. So please look it up.
We did. So is that cyanide is not like I'm gonna take cyanide then die. It's like no, all your cells excrete all their water, and you die like SpongeBob in season 2, episode 6, when he's going. Yeah, it's bad.
Good evening, film fans, and welcome to my crawly crypt. This little drama is about one of life's unexpected pleasures. Dying, that is. Most of us only get to do it once, and it's all over before you can really enjoy it. But one man did get to die again, and he liked it so much, he started doing it for a living.
But have you played the game? You played the game
all of them
Donkey
recently.
Kong, though.
No.
The game where Mario's going up the ladder?
No, because that fun spot.
That game sucks, Joe. That's not the one, dude. Like,
at fun spot, Donkey Kong and Super Mario Bros. Are taken.
Can we get on the same page? We've been off the same page all night. He said, I never played any Donkey Kong game. I said, but you played the game Donkey Kong, which is not a Donkey Kong game.
No,
you go,
the original
Joe,
Donkey
that's
Kong
not the
was
best
Mario.
one, dude. I didn't say it was the best anything. I was trying to figure out if you played a Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, I apologize.
I've never played a single
Okay, I'm sorry, too. I'm being so harsh on you. I just feel like we're like off the page tonight.
Are
we're
you
off the
eating
page, but I
onion
just feel like
rings or
Donkey Kong
Funyuns?
Country 1 and then 2 and 3 are like
are the best.
So good. But
Absolutely.
you
I
weren't
agree
saying
with
that.
you 100%.
You weren't saying that. You were just saying, "Hey, Dom, you must have played this." And
I will say,
was
maybe
an
this
asshole.
might clear it up a
I was
little
an
bit.
asshole.
We
I
didn't
just
have
went
a
asshole.
Nintendo system until the Wii came out. We always had PlayStation.
You had a PlayStation, I think.
We
yeah,
had
so
a
you didn't have
PS1, then we had a PS2, and then we got the Wii. We never
had
had
the NES. So
which,
you
as
didn't play
as
Super
kids,
Mario Brothers.
We didn't play those when we were kids. We were
But
old.
your parents did
I was
own
probably like
that.
9 or 10 the first time I ever played that.
That's pretty crazy. Your
That
parents
never-
had that before you were born, and they were like, "That's just ours. That's just for us." We played.
Well,
Mario
because they didn't play it. It was like in the attic. Like they forgot about it. Don't forget,
Did they
got
have the
that.
Duck Hunt gun too. The Duck Hunt.
yeah.
I think they had that.
They got
Joe
that,
had the duck hunt.
They got that as a wedding present, then went on their honeymoon,
My shit was
and
crazy.
all the Collins and Morrows went to their house and played it while my parents were in Niagara Falls.
So sick.
That's great, because it is a shitty honeymoon gift. Here, play video games. Like, we're not gonna be doing that.
Oh, so cool.
We still
No, it's
have it,
great
and the
'cause the
thing
family
still
did.
works.
I
it
shit
does.
on Niagara Falls on the U.S. side, but I also fucking love it. I can't
Never
wait to
been.
go back.
Basically, anywhere you've ever been that's fun, I haven't been.
Florida. I'm
Except
sorry.
for that.
That was I did a Dominic thing where I immediately tried to shit on your point. That was a Dominic move. I shouldn't have done that.
No, but go to Niagara Falls, dude. Like, actually, I feel like that. So, like, it's just so
Maybe
you guys
the Canadian side? Didn't you say the Canadian side is
Since
better?
we're all brothers here.
Yeah.
My favorite place to hang out in the entire world, besides here, where I'm from with you guys and that type of thing, is Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
I
Alright, Dom,
love
just
Omaha,
address
Nebraska
what you did. Did you
So-
hit it?
more than
I just threw my beer can towards my trash can from here, and I missed. It bounced off of the oven and landed. Oh, sorry. Like that.
holy goddamn shit.
I wish we would have got that all.
No. This is worth. No, this is worth.
We
a
had to address
celebration.
it. I don't want to leave
that's-
Dylan's point.
That's
but we had to address
seriously.
that.
That needs to be addressed big time. That's a big deal.
That was so
Wow.
cool.
Oh wow! Alright, for the audio listeners, Dylan, please continue. But Omaha, Nebraska, because I remember you calling.
Yeah,
were you calling
Dom
for
just
Nebraska?
threw a beer.
Oh,
and
this
landed
is
straight
this is
up,
being
and it
recorded.
makes no
I didn't
sense.
know that. I wouldn't.
Oh,
That makes no sense.
I
Dom
wouldn't
just threw a
explain
Bush
it then.
Light.
I didn't. No, it's Bush.
Oh, sorry, not light.
Bush
A
heavy.
standard
Bush
Bush.
heavy.
Bush heavy.
Yeah, it's right down. It's right in the middle between a Bud Light and a Budweiser. It's 4.3, not 4 or 5, like a Budweiser and a Bud Light.
Okay, so he threw a Bush heavy and it landed straight up.
Yeah, it was fucking.
No,
awesome.
but
It
I was saying is,
empty, too. It
Dom,
bounced off
I'm
the
not trying to
oven.
be this like.
Sorry.
I've been to a bunch of places, and my favorite place to be is Omaha, Nebraska.
Right. yeah.
I absolutely love Omaha, Nebraska. Way miles more than San Diego.
Is it one of those
Athens,
things though,
Greece,
or also where you're like,
Than fucking
if someone like
Munich,
if
Germany.
someone
Like
gives
I
you
love
crap
Omaha.
for it, you're like, I'm not gonna get mad that you're giving me crap for it because I still love it. Because that's me with Madison, Wisconsin.
Yes. And I went to some random ass place in Wisconsin. And I love it too. I love the weird, dude. And Athens isn't weird. Munich's not
Thank you.
weird. It is, whatever it is, but Omaha, Nebraska is so fun.
Hell yeah.
So fun, dude.
Great comedy club there, Omaha Funny Bone, one of the best funny bones
Really,
in the
no
country.
shit. Yeah.
I've never
Omaha
been.
and
I
Lincoln
just
are
know
next to
that
each other,
that's
and
what a
like
bunch
I
of
really had a
comedians
good
say.
time there. Like, I love those towns and cities. So don't think you're not worldly because you haven't been to fucking
Niagara
Iceland.
Falls.
You know, fuck it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you're Munich or whatever. Like, it doesn't fucking matter at all. If you're with bad
It does
company the
track
whole
with our,
time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it tracks with our like sensibilities that you'd be like the most famous place in the world would not be our favorite place. Like we all love, fucking
Taj Mahal.
rock and roll, but like if we went to Paris, we might not like it as much as Omaha, Nebraska because our sensibilities are different and we have different tastes. We can enjoy
Yeah, and
ourselves.
Omaha, Nebraska is who I am as a person.
There you
So
go.
that's why I like it the best. And I could be the Taj Mahal, which I love,
Well,
to
have you
think
been
about.
to Taj Mahal?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I was there. I was like, I don't remember.
No, I
you
have.
going to
I
India.
have.
I mean,
No, I've never been to
he's
India,
a
but
pretty
like,
great musician.
Middle East.
I've been
We
in
can
Middle
kick
East,
people,
but
right?
like you go there and you're like, this is cool, but like my thing is, I love Niagara Falls as a city on the United States side because it's almost like Omaha, Nebraska, and at a great time, and yeah, total shithole, and
With
my
personality.
grandparents went on their honeymoon there, like it was cool and whatever it is, but I like the fact that I got up there and go, hey, all right, so that's it. Anyways, you guys want to get a drink? Like, that's
what
the
it's
type
all
of place
about.
it is.
Dylan,
you go there, you see it, and you go,
Nice.
cool.
That's something.
Let's
Dylan, have you ever
let's
seen?
get a drink now.
Have you ever seen
What?
the movie Canadian Bacon?
Yes, I have with John Candy.
Yeah,
You see that, you son of a bitch?
because that's the perfect movie to show the difference between Niagara Falls, New York, and Niagara Falls, Canada.
Oh, it's a big difference.
Both versions
Yes.
of it, their New York side is completely wrong, and their Canada side is also completely wrong, and it's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Also,
No, completely right.
John
exactly
Candy,
that.
Rhea Perlman. Where can you go wrong?
Yeah, you can have a like. I really liked the American side, but it's just Detroit. It's Detroit with a giant waterfall.
And also, when Dylan walked in there, two people walked up to him and they went like this.
No, I'm not, motherfucker. You fucking accuser. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking accuser. You motherfucking accuser. Get the fuck out of here.
Which I think was very
It
nice
sounds
to say.
so good.
He was trying to appreciate the Niagara Falls and this fucking... Sorry, Dylan, go ahead.
That is the fault
They
in
shouldn't
our
have said that to
side.
you.
Accuser. Yeah,
They
you're
shouldn't have
right,
said that
dude.
to you. That was
No,
wrong.
you're right. So, no, but
You're
I
not-
like
you're not
those
a bad
places. You
tourist.
can
Like, you'll
see
go there,
everything
you'll
ever.
make friends. Sorry, go ahead.
You'll absolutely make Niagara Falls is an easy place to make friends. It's a blue collar place.
And you're a friendly guy, so I don't know why people talk to you like that.
And even better, honestly, Niagara Falls is great, but you drive a half hour to Buffalo and you get a good city right there.
I've never heard
Now we
anyone
got
say
something.
that Buffalo is good.
It's better than
except for me.
Syracuse.
Except for me.
Oh no, you're right. Syracuse is what I was thinking of, not Buffalo.
Yeah,
No,
Buffalo is the
Syracuse.
good one.
Syracuse is full of frat boy, white, fucking rich dicks.
Yeah, my cousin.
Buffalo is got its hard side, but it's like a giant Salem, Mass. And I had some of the best food I've ever had in my life in Buffalo.
Was it wings? Was the Buffalo wings?
Nope, I got buffalo wings from the original Buffalo Wing place. And Joe, did I bring some to you too? I brought
No, I would remember that, 'cause
$60.
Buffalo chicken that's my favorite food. I would remember that.
Oh, you remember that? All right. So I spent $60 on 2 boxes of buffalo wings from the original Buffalo Ring location. I drove there
Holy
out of my way to
shit.
get them.
You
I spent
motherfucker!
$60 to get them, and I was severely let down. There was almost no sauce on them.
First
So-
of all, you're paying $60 for buffalo wings, no matter how good they taste.
And second of all, the sauce is the boss.
The sauce is
they
the
fucked up
boss,
the sauce?
Dominic.
They let you down big time.
Dude, they were dry the whole time.
I wouldn't
And
say that's an indictment.
They had it.
on
They
the
had
Maybe
a
it's a dry
massive-
county.
Joe, this was in our commercials, dude. Like you knew I was there.
I love when I can get a
No, I'm just saying that I don't
at
think
a
the city
Joe
let you
instead of a
down.
laugh.
I think that restaurant let you down big time, man.
It let me down big time. I went there when they opened, and I was there like, oh, I'll get.
Wait, you were there
I'll
for the
get 2
invention
boxes.
of the Buffalo wing? When they
I went
opened.
there for the. I went to
Everyone
the
knows
invention
the best
of the
time
buffalo
you eat at a
wing.
restaurant is when you're waiting at the door when they open up. That's when they have their best shit.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe's got that right. Yeah, hey, you guys.
I've worked at restaurants, and the best time to get the food is when they're not even ready to serve it yet. And you
yeah,
just
when they're
order
just
the most,
angry and hungover still.
Yeah.
That's the best.
That's when they
no
do their
question.
best work.
You get it? They open at
11:30,
you get
somewhere
there
around
at
there.
You have to
12,
drive from
and you
Buffalo,
go, "Can I
New
get the
York
beef
to
Wellington?" They're
Boston,
like, "You
Massachusetts.
motherfucker."
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They'll understand that.
On the board.
Oh, yeah.
I'm driving to Boston. Can you get me my food quicker?
If you don't mind.
None of us give a shit one fuck.
Yeah, they couldn't give less of a shit if they had their pancreas removed.
Yeah, now we don't care even more. That
Yeah.
cool, you have a 4-hour drive from here, a 6-hour drive. Go fuck
Oh,
yourself.
so sorry for you. I'm withdrawing from meth right now. My girlfriend's half pregnant.
Exactly.
Half
So if you guys,
They have
if
bigger
if anyone
problems.
goes to Buffalo, just a heads up. I mean, we're gonna continue on with our actual podcast.
No,
soon.
this is important.
But if you
I wanna
guys,
hear about
if you
this.
guys go to Buffalo, fuck that place. Go to Mr. Sizzle. Mr.
You're in
Sizzle.
my personal space, bitch.
Go to Mr. Sizzle and get yourself a nice burger and get a chocolate milkshake, and then you can get the
Mr. Sizzle, that sounds cute.
Mr. Sizzle beer, which is associated with a local brewery. That's what did my Airbnb.
Oh, it's
and I
like a
was
micro
really,
brew is the
Oh,
old
hell
yeah,
yeah.
I was really happy with
like-
that. It was a Mr.
I
Sizzle
heard they added more
burger,
hops.
beer, and chocolate milkshake, and that was what's up. And Buffalo is a great, great city to go on vacation to. Like I
I think
really
a
enjoy
burger, a beer, and a chocolate milkshake in Buffalo, New York might be the most American order I've ever heard of. Because you think it'd be
Yeah,
like
and
New
it
York
was good,
City
dude.
pizza, I'd be like, nope. Burger,
No,
beer,
it was
Buffalo,
it
New
was
York.
good as hell,
That's
dude.
fucking American as hell.
No, Buffalo, dude. Buffalo has phenomenal food. Their burgers are great. Their beers are great. Their milkshakes are great. Like, and same with Niagara Falls. I enjoyed the food in Niagara Falls. It is what it is. It's
yeah.
worth those little trips. Those little trips are really, really fun. Big fan.
All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the podcast.
All right. So I want to talk about a theory that I read about where it wasn't potassium cyanide on the ship that caused the problems.
Because I think
Okay.
you might be
Okay.
right, my friend.
It was
hear it.
this chemical called. Hope I know how to say it right. I don't know if it's.
Me too.
It's either Tabun or Tabun, Tabun, and it's a It's a face. Did I not say it right either of the times? Is that what just happened?
I
said it right
think
the
it's
first
called
time.
Tabun. I've heard of it before. Yeah, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Tabun,
it's a phosphorus-based nerve agent that the Germans developed during World War II, and were sharing it with Japan.
The Germans.
And then that fits the whole timeline of that's Germany sharing this newer chemical that isn't potassium cyanide with the Japanese, and we get the German science to tell us about it. We're having a shipment from Japan sent over. That's why it's going through the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
But one of the main things that I talked about.
But how does it happen? Like, how does it, like, obviously they didn't open the valve and go bottoms up.
Well, from my understanding, it's the same theory for why the potassium cyanide happened, where there's
some kind of
seawater got into the cargo hold.
Okay.
And I don't know the whole science.
The listeners haven't heard this theory yet, so please flesh it out for us.
Honestly, from the video I watched for the research on this, they didn't dive too much into it. Basically, they're saying that the seawater got into the cargo hold.
We're creating content
here. And the seawater itself seeping into the crates or whatever that is, that's what activated the chemicals.
I hope it wasn't a crate full of fucking
gas. But the reason why the Tabun lines up better than the cyanide is this is what I was trying to say earlier. Low persistence, meaning it dissipates quickly. So
okay, which makes sense. When you show up on the ship, the gas is already gone.
It's fine. You're not going to. That's why you feel no effects from it. And so it makes much more sense than the cyanide. Plus, it being a newer
does it
chemical.
Not leave any?
It's odorless. It's tasteless. Colorless. Actually, no. It's not odorless. It's tasteless and colorless, but it gives off a slight fruity scent.
That is horrifying.
Because
just like
diabetes,
before
you smell it, and you're like, "Oh, that smells good." Yeah. And you fucking
like
die.
that, just like that, yeah.
And
that's how it goes.
And honestly, whether it was cyanide or Tabun, which I know cyanide, you always think of it as like a liquid or a capsule kind of thing, not a gaseous
it's like
form.
A solid capsule you chew down on, yeah.
The gaseous state of Tabun makes much more sense for why I was like, oh, everyone's dead. Or not even that. It's like, I know the captain and officers are dead. I'm pretty sure the crew is dead. Yeah. I'm still alive because it hasn't gotten into my chamber yet. But you start like, well, now I die.
That is interesting. You know the speed at which it occurs too, because a lot of chemical weapons, you die, or you at least are affected so fast that you don't have time to react. Like things like nerve gas or Zyklon B. This is all in episodes of Dylan podcast, Best Poison. But yeah, I mean, you die so fast you'd be able to react to it. But this does track with the horrified look on their face, the death of the entire crew, and also the dissipation, which Dom mentioned, because a lot of these stories go, oh, there could have been some kind of gaseous thing. But then when the Silver Star shows up and they walk in there, they should die too. But not if the gas dissipated already. And if it wasn't between the fire starting, people arriving, it's a very short window. If it was a ghost ship for 10 years and then they show up and they go, what happened here? There's skeletons and I don't know what happened. But there was a fire. So that must have been a very short window between the gas activating and the fire starting, because the bodies aren't decomposing to the point of disfigurement, and there's a fire, which means the chemicals haven't been released yet. So there's a very tight window for this story to actually be accurate and work. Yeah. And Tabun might be the key to this, to be like, it's a fast acting, but not too fast, and it's a fast dissipating to clear out the ship. It's interesting theory. I never heard that one yet.
Yeah, it could be, but it could be also other unsecured hazardous materials.
And I want to hear all about it.
Yeah. So, it could have been involved in smuggling operations.
Yeah.
Already said that.
Chemical substances such as, again, we mentioned potassium cyanide, but more specifically, nitroglycerin, because you guys are forgetting the fact that
earlier, man.
Once the Silver Star started towing this motherfucker,
the fire
that it blew up.
Did you not listen to like an hour ago?
I mean,
we talked about this
5 minutes ago.
No, no, that's the whole point. Is I'm bringing it back up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. The way you're mentioning it, you're saying.
No, this isn't new. This is not new information.
I mean, you
saying
did
is
just say
that
we didn't say it, but we did.
No, because you guys already said this, but we're wrapping into like the
you didn't say that.
full-blown
Okay, gotcha.
conclusion of this. No, I knew this. So like,
hell yeah.
So we knew that like that we're on the Japanese side of the bullshit, and that the Japanese stored a lot of bullshit in China.
Definitely.
And they might have been transporting this on this ship because it was in the Strait of whatever the fuck. And it's
Malacca.
Malacca.
But I did hear two versions of the story where one of them is in the Saint Bart Islands, and one was in the Philippines. So like, there's different versions.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Philippines here. So like,
but I'm gonna stick with the one
in the
that
cargo
Dylan
hold.
said.
We've got a lot of things that are half are depending on what you think, Nazi bullshit. The other are Japanese. They're both in the Axis power. It's both fucked. So
They're bad guys, as we say.
Yeah, exactly.
In the shitty version of history we teach second graders.
It's also a
Good
shitty
guys
time for
Billie Eilish told us
regulatory things, and crew members could be succumb to potential asphyxia and/or poisoning due to the lack of preventative measures with serious chemicals.
So that has to do with nitroglycerin, though? Because I don't think nitroglycerin
It does, because if water hits nitroglycerin, if they're transporting nitroglycerin because they're trying to remove it from China to go put in
how does that affect the breathing? I just don't know.
So nitroglycerin could have been part two. Is that if water hits nitroglycerin, it creates fire.
Yeah, it will explode.
So when they they towed it, and then if you shake nitroglycerin's unstable, so if you shake it, it blows up.
This is all.
But water also does a similar thing.
Asphyxiate. Because their bodies weren't in shreds.
So you have carbon monoxide, you have a mustard gas type of thing, you have whatever it is. Nitroglycerin just getting part two. This could have just been like a real shitty boat to be on, due to the fact that they're transporting a lot of hazardous materials that should not be inhaled.
So you're on board with what I was
nerve
saying,
gases and that type of thing.
That.
Yeah.
Nitroglycerin didn't suffocate them to death or whatever. Like, nitroglycerin was why the boat exploded.
No, nitroglycerin would blow up. You're looking at more of a nerve gas type of agent that would cause them to go into almost immediate rigor mortis, where all their muscles tense, which would be a very mustard gas symptom.
Yeah.
So
mustard
on board with
gas.
Like, that
there was more than one
mustard gas.
Because
exactly. But to have all their limbs go like this, which is what they did. That would be a mustard gas.
Yeah, which they had.
Exactly, which is a chlorine-based chemical.
Chlorine-based chemical. Dom is correct.
Half of salt.
Yes.
Yes, half of salt. Carbon monoxide would be that's great, but they would just go to sleep. No one would look.
That would be a painless death.
Also,
painless death, shitty death.
If it was that prevalent inside the cabin of the ship, the people who arrived in the ship would also be affected by it, which it doesn't seem like for any story that was even part of the case.
Well, yes and no. That does dissipate, like you said, Joe.
It does, but I think that it wouldn't dissipate enough, though, because it, like you taught me this. It's more dense than regular air, so it stay low to the ground, and it takes a long time to affect you relatively to like mustard gas.
Well,
if people showed up on the ship and they showed up and they were like, I was about to catch on fire and people are dead, I feel like there'd still be enough carbon monoxide there to affect the people who arrived.
I believe we talked about this a little bit on another podcast where Dylan and I knew about it, but Joe, you didn't. It's the Battleship Cove in Quincy on the USS Massachusetts. There are certain rooms that are sealed off due to gases that are getting released that they can't stop.
That makes sense.
So
do you think this smuggling ship has the same capabilities as a United States military battleship?
Yes.
I doubt it.
I'd say yes.
Is that right?
Because it's based off of...
Maybe we should bring this up. Do you think it was a sanctioned government warship?
I do.
You did? Okay, I didn't even think about that fast.
I
was thinking this is a shipping situation.
No.
Because one of the stories I heard is that after they called for medical aid in the Morse code, they called for a battleship after. Almost like they were...
Oh, I didn't hear that.
They were thinking people were going to die, and then they realized, oh, no, we actually need a warship here. And this is, again, all
so
hearsay,
there's a
blah, blah,
CIA
blah,
document...
newspaper, bullshit, telephone story kind of crap. But
So there's a military unit 731.
Okay.
And that will explain everything, and it's listed on CAA documents. Military Unit
You will
731.
explain everything right now.
So, Military Unit 731 is an unknown unit designated by the CAA that distinguishes this boat as something
SEAIA, I imagine.
Of possible relation more than interest. So interest would be interest, relation would be relation, something.
You just said the words twice. Can you be more descriptive?
I did. No, I did for a reason. Like, if it's of possible interest, that could be a drug smuggler. If it's of possible relation, it's like, hey, is this the British SAS boat or whatever it is? It's somewhere in between. So this could be like a wicked blacklisted CIA boat that's owned by the CIA.
Yeah.
And Military Unit 731.
Well, I
do
do believe at the time that was the OSS, not the CIA.
That's a good point, Dom.
Yeah,
You're
that's
completely
a good point.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't
yep.
Not that it matters, just to prove that I'm smart a little bit.
No, you're
That's
smart.
the whole
You're smart.
podcast.
It was the
You
OSS.
nailed it.
So
Not that it
Dom's
matters,
very
just to prove
cryptic.
that I'm smart.
Dom's very cryptic, and for those of you listeners who don't know, the CIA was the OSS before it was the CIA. And Dom, can you tell us what the OSS stands for?
I cannot.
That's cool. All right, nice job.
I have a guess, though. I do have a guess.
Yeah.
My guess is it stands for Operations.
All right,
of
get off your
Secret
high
Services.
horse immediately. That's all OSS stands for.
Hey, my horse
won't
raced over
ride.
for 12 years, and you know it.
Get on your short horse there, Big Shoes.
Yeah, Operation Short Shit Horse.
Good job.
So Military Unit 731. There's a lot to this, and this is where the conspiracies get in, is that some people think that 731 is the answer to all missing vessels and aircraft
ever,
and that's absurd.
In the
right off the bat,
waters.
right, Dylan? We can all agree the idea that one, sect of the CIA is
well, the answers to the Bermuda Triangle.
There's a lot of truth.
I'm just saying
the answers to the Bermuda Triangle are here.
Right?
The answers to the Bermuda Triangle are here in this boat. That's what they're saying.
But that's one section of the ocean. But to say a blanket statement that all missing naval vessels are responsible by this organization, we can all agree, please, that that's an absurd statement to make.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
All of them are. Amelia Earhart, fucking. I mean, of course it is.
No, I know. I'm just saying what they're saying.
No,
I'm not saying I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying you're saying. I just want to agree on that
going
forward. Now you're going to describe more, but we can all agree
you.
that one organization is available or culpable for every sinking ship is an absurd statement to make, which people will make, but you won't make that.
Amen, brother.
Please go forward with that knowledge in hand.
Amen, brother. So
okay, amen.
That's pretty much what I'm saying, is that this is, to this day, an unexplained case, because likely it was transporting something that caused carbon monoxide, which we think is not, because Dominic really made sure that we know that when rigor mortis sets in,
you get hard
quickly,
fast.
They look scary. And carbon monoxide deaths are a little more
peaceful.
peaceful.
It has to be a nerve agent type thing where it would affect your whole body, not
like
just carbon
mustard
monoxide that
gas,
just suffocates
or
carbon
that's
monoxide looks like
cyanide
you
would not be a
never
nerve agent because that's something you ingest, not
Yes.
in the air. So
well, they could
we don't think it's
aerosolize
cyanide.
it, I think, but it would
I
have
don't
a
know.
similar result.
It's actually,
where it would,
I'm sure they could, but I don't know.
No, but it would be the same as what you said, Dylan. It would be a quick acting, violent, awful death. And carbon monoxide poisoning, when they find people, it looks like they fell asleep.
Yeah,
but
you
also
pass out before the death.
Yeah, it's a very different situation.
Yeah, and then rigor mortis
Slower.
sets in, that type of thing. And,
when your motor functions shut down first, you look like you're sleeping. You don't get like frozen, as if all your muscles tense up like many poison we talked about. So obviously, that's
like you were exposed to a giant flash, and then you're like, oh,
which is also accounting for the fact that people weren't telephoning the story. And when they said people looked up like they had terror in their eyes, they weren't just writing that for their newspaper that they had to make money off of to make it more scary. They were being accurate. We're gonna assume that's factual.
Yeah.
They're being factual and accurate, and nothing in history that's been recorded that actually has any real evidence has shown someone seeing the ring girl and dying like this.
Not yet, but we should always keep that in
typically
our back
a
pocket just in case.
post-mortem reaction to natural processes in the body.
Right.
So
especially
if
because
it
the ring didn't
was,
come out
even
for
if it
7
was,
years,
I've never seen a body from carbon monoxide. But like I said, Joe, yeah, it does. It builds up from the ground up. Unfortunately, it's heavier than
it's the speed in which your body it becomes deceased. That's
but once you die, you know.
Yeah, then you come in, rigor mortis.
It looks like you're breathing once you're dead for a couple of minutes because your body, your cells are excreting oxygen through the lungs. Still keeps happening. It's wicked.
And there's all kinds of gases built up.
At the moment of death, there's a lot of gases that come out of the body, and then rigor mortis sets in within a couple hours. It's really fucked up.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're taking a nap all the time, but I'm saying the pose of the shrill shrieking at the sky versus the dead guys who shit themselves. It seems more to me to be a nerve agent, less than carbon monoxide, if I had to guess. Just
I'd say so. So it's very, very possible that this boat, if it exists in the first place, this could be a told myth.
Good point.
We can talk about.
Because there is no record of it.
This boat, there's no record of this boat existing.
Off of a 9-year span, and one of them happened 10 years before where you guys were talking about. Or no, 8 years before. The first example is in a newspaper in England in 1940. It's mid-war. I mean, that kind of makes it a little shaky.
Very early war.
That's early.
That's
but
3
it's good
years
for a ghost
before
story.
US
It's shit
involvement.
for a war report. Yeah. That's the first.
Yeah, so there's not a
in
lot of
newspaper.
evidence.
The first time it came up, and it was still called the orangutan. So you gotta be like,
all right, ready?
Orangutan, which means the man of Matang.
I'm gonna go
right?
for this.
So,
it's my first time ever to be the one to do this.
Down to it.
Let's go into final thoughts.
All right, yeah.
I'm ready.
Final thought.
Joe, let's start with you because I feel like Dylan always starts.
Good call, Dom.
Not true, but I'm more than happy. This story fascinated me as every ghost ship story. The very idea of there being a ship coming into port or coming along a ship in the ocean, being like, "Are you okay? SOS." You show up and everyone's dead with no cause of death apparent. There's no bloody knife. There's no guy hiding in the hull.
But there is a puddle from an icicle.
But the mystery is awry. And that whole entire thing of the ghost, and then as soon as they get there, oh no, the evidence is in Davy Jones' locker. We had enough evidence to go there, an eyewitness account, and tell you the story. This spooky ghost story of the ghost ship. Well, prove it. Oh, we can't, because as soon as we got on the ship, it exploded. And now it's gone forever. So I want to show you it, and it did happen, and I'm telling the truth, and my life is fascinating, and I saw something very insane and scary and cool. But I just can't prove it to you because it just turned out that as soon as we got there, whether it's Tabin, carbon monoxide, or cyanide, the thing blew up and it's in Davy Jones' locker now. So I can't prove it to you at all. And also, it didn't happen also. But aren't I interesting? That's my final thoughts. Is this story is cool as hell. I think that it's very likely that many ships in that span went to Davy Jones' locker secretly, for sure. And my number one reason why I'd hang on to this actually happening is what we've been talking about in the past 20 minutes, which is that maybe this was a secret operation. It's post-World War II or perhaps during, when it was published in the newspaper, during. But it might have been more than one ship that had this situation going on. It's the situation of ships being smuggling poisonous gases. We're talking about after World War I, where that became not only a war crime, but a big taboo. We're talking about pre-nuclear weapons and post-taboo when you're starting to build this up. But by the time the article comes out in 49, 50-something, now the nuclear bomb's out there. And the idea of smuggling weapons or chemicals at the time not only was bad during the war, but after the war is over, it's very bad. Everyone in the world is on eggshells at that point, and they don't want to upset anybody. Everyone's just chilling out, being cool. So I'm not willing to say the story never happened in history. Something like this didn't happen. But I would be willing to say the story of the orangutan, as it's told, 5 different ways, with the silver star, the SOS message. The SOS message, by the way, on Morse code that said, "Everyone is dead. The captain is in the chart room. Except for me." That's not how Morse code...
I die.
Morse code is done directly. SOS. It's fire on the ship. you have to tap 100 fucking times per second. It's a disaster. You don't go, anyways, people are starting to die. The captain's dying. It's not like an Xbox BioShock, Fallout, like, audio log, like, here's how it goes. The ship's going down. They're looking for help here. They're not going to describe the whole situation. That reeks to me of bullshit after the fact newspaper writing, is as of the fact that the dog was snarling, as of the fact that everyone was, staring up at the sky in terror. It all reeks to me of complete bullshit. That being said, I think that this definitely could have happened, and it could have been an awful disaster. And if it did happen with smuggling, war crime laden chemical weapons, I can see why it was secretive. I can see why it didn't happen. I don't believe for a second it happened the way it was described to us, but to say the fact that things like this never happened, and that a smuggling death trap ship never went down and asked for help at the last second, I believe it. I just believe that this story happened in some form, and after classified documents, hush-hush, and a 9-year game of telephone between what I believe was the initial guy. I heard a story, I don't know if you hear this, Dylan, that a guy survived it, and he washed up on shore, and he told an Italian journalist what happened. Right?
And the guy in Trieste, Italy, where I'll be in 3 weeks?
Yeah, exactly, right?
I heard this.
And then that guy told the paper, we're talking about 4 versions of telephone. We've all played telephone. Even if that did happen.
Wait, so he survived something in the Indian Ocean and somehow made it back to Italy before telling
on a lifeboat. On a lifeboat. Yeah, and then when he got back there, he told a missionary, and then, wouldn't you know it, he died 2 days later, so you can't ask him again what happened.
Did he blow up from
trust the Italian
but
journalist.
Trieste is so weird, because Trieste is like... On the East Coast, it's like landing up in Roanoke. Like if you're on the Virginia,
I'm glad
like,
you know the geological
the
location.
canal.
It has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say right now, but I'm glad you know.
No, I'm just saying is that for him to land in Trieste is like, why didn't you land?
No, he didn't
in, like,
land there. The Italian journalist was where the ship landed, like in Indonesia. He was on a trip. Was the idea? He was writing there. Yeah, he didn't land in Italy. But no, the idea that it's add more bullshit. There's no way. The guy started writing stories in the newspaper saying, I met this, this German guy on this Dutch ship and he survived this crazy thing. I don't know what to believe, man. I've heard stories with the Chupacabra, Bigfoot, UFOs. All of them are more clear and concise and understandable and breakdownable in this story. I've heard so many versions of the story. I have no idea what I believe. What I do believe is that whatever happened, it's not the version we heard. And a lot of people wanted to sell a lot of newspapers and they made up a lot of fucking fake shit to sell exciting stuff. I'm sure this shit could have happened many times, but not like this. Its story is fake. The end. Italian journalists want to make some money.
Can I go next?
Dom or Dylan, please go next.
Dom.
So I definitely agree with Joe that so much of the story is made up. However, this happened, but this was like early government cover-ups. They didn't know how to do it yet. That's why so much information got out. Some people are like, well, that could never, let's just go with it. But also I think a big part of it is you're coming off of 4, 5, 6 years of newspapers making bank off of reporting on this war. And now they're like, oh shit, the war's over. What are we going to do now? We can't go back to making 50% profit. We need to go back to making 150% profit. I heard this thing happened. And all it takes, to this day, there's like these little leaks that happen, and they always blow up for like a couple days. They had to make it last.
I won't interrupt you again, but like I said, all of the versions that I've heard of the story, every primary resource is from a newspaper. None of them is from Navy logs, ship logs, or research. Every primary source is from newspapers, and then secondary sources are from people commenting on them.
Yeah,
it's pre-Project Blue Book. Why would they? They didn't until they were mandated the Freedom of Information Act in 2001.
Could very well be the case. Sorry, Dom.
They didn't
mention that.
No, that's a good point.
Say dick.
I absolutely believe that this was some U.S. covert operation that went awry. That's why they had it out of the shipping lanes. But also, I think they were still strategic enough to send it through the certain area because the Strait of Malacca was, or still is, a notoriously dangerous area to put your ships through. In a 100-year period, 30 ships that were recorded sank going through that channel. So they had this ship going outside of the channel, close enough that they could claim, if something happened, they could claim, oh, this ship went down because they were going through this dangerous area.
Oh,
but they weren't expecting.
They pre-planned it just to be like have it
just in case if anything
okay.
happened.
Interesting.
But they weren't expecting the chemicals to be the reason why they didn't make it.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's
why they didn't let anyone know where they were going in case they did get hurt. Much like the Indianapolis carrying the atomic bomb equipment, they couldn't say where they were until it was too late. I mean, that tracks for me.
Yeah, so I think they had enough organization to be like, well, let's have it at least go near this area just in case, but not enough planning to prevent disaster or from preventing enough information getting out for these speculations to occur. That's my thought on that, but I do want to take this a little bit of time to just throw a little more information out there that we didn't really fit into the conversation before. One of the things was when they got to the ship, and I think this is more of just like when you feel a cold spot, that's a ghost kind of thing. Because it was reported that at that time in the Indian Ocean, it was around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But once they got onto the Orang Medan, they were like, apparently they actually brought a thermometer and got the reading, but who knows?
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. On the ship was 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my god, such bullshit. Such bullshit.
Which is just, I think that's more a way to be like it was the Grim Reaper or something like that. 'Cause who knows?
They could just say it felt cold. The idea that they brought a measuring device on there just fucks their story up even more.
Yeah.
It actually was.
All it means is it's like the
colder.
SpongeBob episode. It's like in SpongeBob when he leaves his freezer open. Maybe did they check the freezer?
When he gets the suds?
It might have been that.
Yeah.
That's a great episode. Dylan, I'm so happy that you did 2 SpongeBob references this episode. This is great.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, dude, is that they left the freezer open.
On the point of the dog,
I wouldn't rule it out.
I believe reporting on the dog was to give it an even deeper sense of, the humanity.
Tragedy. Not the dog. Not
because
the dog.
Humans have loved dogs for thousands of years, and I severely doubt that being more sad over the death of a dog than a human, that's not 20, 30, 40 years old. That's thousands of years old. Because dogs
don't do shit to you.
Without
okay. And also, ship dog, I've never heard of. Ship cat, I've heard of. I'm sure they had dogs on ships, but all I thought of when I heard the ship dog
not if you're
guy
on like a special mission
where does the dog
carry
shit
this stuff.
And piss? Yeah, in a special mission too. Where does the dog just shits on the deck? You just scoop it right up and throw it off.
Dude, I'd rather live on a boat and have a dog than live in a place where I walk a dog on public areas and put the shit in a bag and then put it in a trash can. If the dog shits on the deck,
throw it overboard.
My pirate boat, I just take a shovel and just like launch that fucking thing like a crossball.
Yeah, at least it's easier to get rid of it. But you always have dog shit.
You don't have to have bags. It's so much easier.
And
it's like having a dog shit in your house and be like, it's easier if it's in my house. That way I can just like throw it in a trash can.
Yeah, I disagree with that completely.
You don't think the ship is your house? You live there all the time.
I do, but this shit needs to go. Hey, to go up on the deck, then take a shit. Then
So
I
you
take
train
this
the
shovel
dog where the
and I
ship is- the
launch
deck's
this
the lawn?
fucking 3-pound shit like a
You
little
think the dog knows? Oh, the
100
outside
yards
is
in
the deck.
ocean.
When we're at sea, and then we're at home, it's the yard. But it's never inside.
Yeah, dude, it's a dog. I can train a dog.
I think the
to
dog
only
is
shit on
shitting
deck.
like all everywhere on the
No
ship.
way. I could train a dog as shit just on the upstairs. No problem. Easy.
I hope so.
Yep. And I have one last thing I want to add to my final thoughts, and this is just some quick little chemical fun fact. Because we're talking about nerve agents, and Dylan will know about this a little bit at least.
Possibly.
Air conditioners in cars are currently either R134 or R1234A is the newer one.
I thought it was R134A, but it's okay.
Sorry, R134A, but the newer one is R1234.
Please spare the listeners.
But the old school
A lot of
original
our listeners know this.
refrigerant for car air conditioning was R12. And one of the problems with R12 is not just that it decimates the ozone layer, is that when it's burned, it produces mustard gas.
No shit.
Oh,
where there was a particular
R134.
there was a particular problem.
Well, it's Freon. So is that Freon,
R12
Dom?
is Freon.
I was going to say, because Freon was before R134.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And then I was like, I knew it's called something else. Freon is R12.
Because I'm so tired of people calling 134.
No, I get it.
Because you have R.
For the
well,
listeners,
Dom,
they can hear Freon. They go, oh, okay, we know.
Well, Joe, to our listeners, that Dom's used to having. So there's R12 fittings, then R134
cool. For the listeners,
fittings.
let's go deeper into the.
And depends on what you are filling with. You cannot put R134 in an R12.
You can, but not directly. You have to adapt it to it.
You know what I mean?
You have to adapt to it. Yeah, exactly.
So there was a problem that I learned from my shop teacher, Paul Raleigh. Shout out, great mechanic.
Shout out to
Worked
Paul.
for Mercedes for years, and there was a problem on certain.
The Germans.
I believe it was. Doesn't matter. Sometime in the 80s, Mercedes with air conditioners, where
Mercedes.
One of the air conditioning lines got really close to the intake. And if there was a leak, the intake would suck in the Freon, and it would burn it, and out the tailpipe came mustard gas.
No kidding.
That's
serious?
such a German way to develop a car.
What the fuck?
They can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves but gas people.
If there was a certain leak, and it didn't happen all the time, it had to be in like the precise area for it to actually get sucked
terrible.
in.
You mean like Crown Heights or like you're like Midtown Manhattan? You know what I mean? The certain area where we want the mustard gas car, the Mercedes-Benz.
A mechanic would pull a car into the dealership garage to work on it, and the next thing you know, they have to evacuate the garage because everyone's like, "You got to leave," and that's not the main reason, believe it or not, why they stopped using Freon. They stopped it because it killed the ozone. Because only Mercedes, as far as I know, had the problem about making mustard gas.
They killed some people. The ozone layer depleting kills everyone.
Yeah.
Especially people
That's
with less
wild.
than
I mean, mustard gas is pretty
that's
much mixing
as fuck. Thank you, Dom.
chlorine. If you mix chlorine bleach with hydrogen peroxide or
with hydrogen peroxide and I think
ammonia.
Ammonia
and
bleach
chlorine.
And
I know you can make it with household
bleach
cleaners,
and ammonia
scary
equals mustard gas.
Yeah. Actually, I remember Maureen DeLeo saying that in science class, and the teacher was very happy that she said that.
Those are my final thoughts on the orangutan. It happened. It was a failed cover up, but it was still covered up pretty well. And
well enough that we never heard about it.
Don't let your old cars with Freon burn the Freon.
Nice.
That's right. Just cut the whole system. Like I've always done, I remove every piece of the HVAC system except for the heater, which is easy to leave in. So my final thoughts on this is that I don't see why back then, like especially back then, why they wouldn't completely have a zero paper trail for a U.S. based CIA sort of situation.
Right, but none of the evidence says it's U.S. based or CIA. It's a Dutch ship with an Indonesian name. I don't know why you guys call it the CIA shit, but all right.
Because trust me, dude, it's CIA.
I can see why your stories make sense for that, but nothing I heard the entire time had anything of the United States or even America. It had nothing to do with America at all.
I mean, I only watched one video on it, and they leaned pretty heavily on.
I know you guys say the Coast Guard ship, but why would the U.S. Coast Guard be in the Indian Ocean? Obviously, it's local.
They wouldn't be.
No, the Coast Guard is total bullshit.
The Coast Guard,
for sure.
dude.
Yeah.
But
there's no United
very
States
CIA thing,
which would be a good way to cover it up.
It was definitely the
but
U.S.
anything I heard is no United States
chemicals used in World War II from Japan because they made deals with German scientists.
All right, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying,
it's like right now, if we were to say
America being involved is tonight. I've never heard
Russia decides to give over all their nukes. We have boats go over there and get them. This is one of those boats that's basically collecting chemicals. Says like, hey guys, you can't have these chemicals or else we're gonna blow you the fuck up.
I mean, what
they called it the orangutan. They didn't call it the Mississippi
Queen.
You know, they wanted to try to say
because the orangutan is a good name, dude. It's a good name. So
I don't think you heard me. But
they had crazy chemicals on them. and then everyone died of not carbon monoxide, but probably mustard gas, chlorine, fucking that type of thing, where they get rigor mortis really quickly. Their cells perfuse oxygen in H2O rapidly. So if you take a chicken wing, and then you somehow extract all of the moisture from that chicken wing,
thinking a buffalo wing.
It's going to curl, or a buffalo wing. It's gonna curl, So everyone on board of the ship died very quickly because someone fucked up bad. They fucked up bad. Like, I love the ghost ship thing. I love this curse, but there's so much evidence that this ship was full of chemicals that someone fucked. And that's my final thoughts.
So your final thoughts is they fucked up.
Someone fucked up and everyone died because ventilation and this type of thing.
Pretty heavy point. Yeah, that's probably the most likely.
I love the scripts of like the thing like everyone's dead, the captain's dead, I die.
It's a great news story.
Joe, imagine your jewel is full of fucking chlorine and you try to say
don't do that
like
to me. I'm trying to enjoy myself.
You enjoy yourself. I'm just saying is that like if you had like it took 3 months to kill you, sorry, 3 puffs. The first puff makes you fucking hallucinate and you try to say I'm gay and then it comes out as I die.
The second one you believe, and the third one really makes you get in there.
Or I'm hungry and it comes out as I die, then you drop
and
dead.
then eventually Bill Burr asks
or I drop dead,
and
or
don't
whatever.
forget, he's not saying it into a voice recorder.
Stool.
He's typing in Morse code. I die. Like it makes it like a Bioshock, like audio log. It's like a video
but
game
he's
thing,
he's not only his cells are not only losing oxygen, they're withholding carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide and whatever else chlorine does to you. It's not good. So he might just say I die where he's really saying
he didn't say anything.
God.
He tapped on a piece of metal.
He tapped on it, but he might be thinking in his head that all he wants is a blowjob. He's trying to write that to someone, and he just wrote I die because
he wrote crazy. The captain. He said all is dead, even the captain, in the chart room. You know how long that takes to type on Morse code?
Did you see
Probably
Midsummer?
The time
it takes these people some time. Their brain operates at 100% within, saturation of 100% of that chemical for the first 1 second. Then after 10 seconds, it's not good. After 30, it's not good. After a minute, it's not good.
I want to learn how long it takes to do Morse code, the letter I. It's probably like 10% of the time before you're dead.
I don't know.
I'm not relitigating it. I shouldn't have shit on your final thoughts, and I'm sorry.
It is you verse time, and
Tom verse time.
You can write out. You can probably bang out 2 sentences the second you have. Hold your breath. I can hold my breath for 3 minutes. I know that. And
ooh, we should test that.
We should, and I can do it. So, that first minute is fine. After that, I'm declining cognitively, big time.
Carbon dioxide buildup in the blood.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy, his first sentence is cool, and then it's not cool because he's
why would
getting
he say
shit.
that? I don't know why in an emergency situation
because the first 30 seconds of the first minute
in the chart room. Who gives a fuck about the chart room? We have a chemical
doesn't
explosion.
care, dude.
We're all gonna die.
The guy's not oxygen in 1 minute.
He care enough to describe where people
I know, but
are
he
falling.
thinks he has. It's like in a submarine. He thinks he has oxygen, but he feels like he needs to drink water, but he doesn't know that there's a lack of oxygen.
His brain function was distorted.
His brain function is
you wanted to describe where people died and shit.
It's tanking. Dude, his brain function is tanking. It's tanking.
I get that. He might have been crazy.
No question. It's tanking big time. So, final thoughts is that there's chemicals on board that are leaking out. These guys are tanking, and if that
I think we can all agree on that
chemical is heavier than air, it's just gonna stay inside that ship. That ain't going shit.
Yeah, heavier than air. Yeah, that'll
yeah, heavy air ain't good for being on a ship. That's for sure.
No.
So that's my final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Guys, we want you guys to take a look at this incident.
It's very interesting. I really
can't
like
wait
that.
Until you guys watch last week's episode 80, where we're all together live doing our big count.
Yeah. We can't wait.
I will say quickly about this episode. I thought it was really interesting and cool that we all came in with different accounts
We did.
Of what
Much
we
like the
found
Bill
about
story.
this.
Yeah.
Really
We
proved
almost
it.
sound
Also,
like the
chemical
Real Reporters,
warfare.
where we all had
Dead
different
Kennedys,
ideas
great
but the
songs.
same ghost story together. I think this is the most accurate version of this that we've ever heard because there's a lot of different versions of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was wild. Well, we'll
Dom,
see
can
you guys
get a little
next
closer
week.
to the camera? It's hard
for
to see you. Can you get a little closer? All
You
right,
can
there you
see
go. Go
me.
ahead. Go ahead, Dylan. I was talking to
Right
Dom.
here?
I was talking to Dom. He wasn't close
Oh,
enough.
this is Dylan.
Now I can see him, yeah.
Oh, Dylan was
I've been
fine.
in the same position the whole time.
I
We
was being
both have a
sarcastic
D.
because he's very close to the camera. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I thought you meant I was like, dude, I'm just
okay, we're all
blending
on
in.
board now. There you
But
go.
we
Sorry,
both have a D. We both have a D. So, all right, guys, that's the Dylan Joe Basement and Dom podcast, a.k.a. The Basement. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. If you guys have any other theories, you can always email us at djbasementpodcast.
And don't forget that Dylan's phone number will
wanna
be
hear
in this
more?
podcast.
617-548-4437. Harass me. I have mounds of debt collecting agencies hit me up anyway, so there's a good chance I won't answer.
Try to break through.
Try to break through them. Good luck.
Good luck, bitch.
And if you want to reach us via email, it's Dom Morrow at onlyfans.com. Dom Morrow, onlyfans.com. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
We'll see you guys next week for episode
82.
Probably 41
82.
or 42. 82. I was thinking 40, but probably 82. We'll see you then. Love you guys.
You motherfucker.
So,
Well,
guys,
I'm sorry.
welcome back to the Dylan Joe Basin podcast. We're a bunch of fucking assholes who can't stop
I
fighting.
hate you.
And Joe hates me. I hate him, and I'm gonna get in a fight with Dom.
You gotta leave.
Where I'm from with you guys, and that's my thing, is Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
I
Alright, Dom,
loved
just
Omaha,
address what you
Nebraska
did. Did you
So-
get it?
more than...
I just threw my beer can towards my trash can from here and I missed. It bounced off of the oven and landed. Oh, sorry. Like that.
Holy goddamn shit.
I wish we would have got that all.
No, this is worth... No, this is worth a
We had to address
celebration.
it. I don't want to leave
that's-
Dylan's point.
That's
but we had to address
seriously...
that.
That needs to be addressed big time. That's a big deal.
That was so
Wow.
cool. Madison, Wisconsin airport. I talked to you on the phone while I had
I should have
two
said rural
aluminum
America.
bottle Budweisers. One in my hand,
Did you take two?
one tucked. It wasn't a bar. I walked up to like Hudson
You just
News
bought 'em.
basically, and I was like, "I'll take some beef
They
jerky,
sell beer at
some
Hudson
News
cheeses,
makes
and,
you a
two
cocktail."
Budweisers." And they're like, all right.
2 boxes of buffalo wings from the original Buffalo Ring location. I drove
Holy
there out of my way to
shit.
get them.
You
I spent
motherfucker.
$68 to get them, and I was severely let down. There was almost no sauce on them.
And I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way. By the way, I don't take no orders from no women.